Alright, here we go, another race video for you. This is the 6th race in the Triad Criterium Series. We're back here in Winston-Salem. 5 races to go for the series. I'm still in the lead. And we're rolling along, and boom, Shannon and Joshua hit it hard. They probably coordinated this attack together. Great move, and I see immediately this guy from Gigawatt goes out after him, and I just latch on. Great chance to just get a free ride, move up the road, and obviously I'm not going to help him chase down my teammates, so I'm just sitting here cruising along, and I'm thinking, man, if he flicks his elbow and wants me to rotate, that would be great, because I definitely won't, and their gap will open up even more. Super helpful to have teammates up the road and just kind of sit in and let other teams chase them down. So eventually they do get pulled back, but it was great for me. I mean, just getting dragged along without doing any real work. I do expect a counterattack to come after we pulled them back. That's the best time to attack in any crit, and they're right on cue. Daniel launches a huge attack on the left side of your screen, perfectly timed. He's got one guy from Benissimo on his wheel, which would have been ideal. If they had just gotten away themselves, I would have been content to just sit on it and see if they could make it happen. But I see 3 other guys chasing them, and you know, those numbers aren't great. I would love to be in the break with them to try to give them some support. The last thing I want to do is drag guys up into the move, so I do make sure to look over my shoulder. No one's on my wheel, so I just keep pushing it along. And here we don't have necessarily a gap, but the group is starting to split up with these efforts, and we do have, you know, 5 guys making a hard effort to really develop a gap. So I just move straight to the front, put in a hard dig, and really try to create that gap. And that's what happens. We've got a little gap here, probably, you know, 3 or 4 seconds, but it looks great. I mean, we got strong guys in this move. Me, Daniel, this guy from Charlotte that I raced with 2 races ago, who also is really strong. But here we're starting to go too slow. I mean, the group's gaining on us, and it's too early. And as you can see, this guy's thinking the same thing. We've got to keep the speed up, keep pushing it. And he just goes from the back all the way to the front, just to up this speed. And I tell him right here, yeah, I'm with you on this. Let's just keep it moving. And I try to let him know, like, you can count on me. I'm gonna keep working to make sure this break is successful. If you remember 2 races ago, he was pretty frustrated. I sat on his wheel the last few laps, but that was only after the break was fully established, and I mean, it was a done deal at that point. So, you know, I keep pulling. I mean, I keep working. I'm not going to risk this break being pulled back. I know that, you know, almost all these races are won from a breakaway. You get the right guys in the move, there's no hesitation. You can't hesitate. You have to go all out, and this is the move. It's win or lose right here. There's no reason we shouldn't be winning this race right now. So, you know, when I'm on the front, I'm pretty much doing as much as I can, pulling 400 or 500 watts, which is well above my threshold. And we're rotating really well together at this point. And you know, when you've got guys rotating smooth like this, doing hard pulls and then coming off, you're gonna be successful. I mean, the gap to the field is just getting wider and wider. I mean, if you think about it, we've got 5 guys doing the work, and there's definitely not 5 equally committed guys in the peloton working to bring us back. So, you know, there may be 2 guys on the front pulling, but it's 2 versus 5 at this point. And yeah, I mean, we're doing really well. I am thinking, like, do we even want to catch the back of the field? I think about that a lot. We've got 2 guys from the same team in this break. It would be great if we could just sit out here for the rest of the race and then start attacking the group one at a time. Would be really helpful for me and Daniel, but that's not totally up to me. I mean, everyone in the group is working hard. in our breakaway, and it does seem like catching the back of the peloton is inevitable, which you can see here. I do my final pull, and I'm thinking I might as well close it down, because if I don't, someone else will. We're gonna catch them. And thoughts about what I'm gonna try to do are running through my head. I'd love to just sit on at this point of the back of the group, kind of rest, and I don't get a chance to do that. The guy from Hopefly, he attacks immediately as soon as we get to the group, and I can't let it go. I mean, this is first position right here. We've lapped the field together, and if he goes off again solo, that's the race. He slows up to see what the reaction was from the group, and I'm already there rolling, so I just keep my momentum moving forward. I didn't necessarily want to be out in a second breakaway of the race, especially with someone who's got much higher sustained power than I do, but that's what happens. Like I said, I can't let him go, because he has the power to just stay out there himself and keep rolling, and then first place is gone. So we do, you can see him here, he's out of the saddle. I mean, he's sprinting just to develop this gap, and I'm happy just to sit on his wheel. And I do help, I do rotate and pull through here, and a couple of times I'll rotate with him, but at this point no one in the group is motivated to chase us down. We've lapped the field. The other guys that in the breakaway that lap the field, they're going to sprint it out for third. They're not tempted to really chase it down. It's a huge gap now. Everyone who's been lapped is definitely not going to chase. They have nothing to gain. And really, I mean, there's no advantage for me to keep working hard in this move. I mean, I would like to just get down to the last lap and sprint it out, and he just keeps rolling along, so I let him do his thing. I mean, there's like 11 laps left, I think, at this point. And yeah, he just keeps moving. I mean, keeps pulling hard. I mean, he barely flicks his elbow, barely even looks back to see what I'm doing. He really just keeps it moving. I do take a pull here, but like I said, we're way ahead of the group now, and I'm happy just to sprint it out for first and second. And I think we've got about 10 laps to go. And right here, I just start fast forwarding, because I think literally out of the 10 final laps, he pulls me like 9 of them. So you can see here, he's out of the saddle again. I mean, he's just keeping it rolling. He's not concerned about what I'm doing. He just wants to keep the pace up, keep it moving. And yeah, I'm fine with that. Totally happy with this outcome. And you might remember something really similar happened 2 races ago with this same guy. And, I mean, what is he supposed to do? I mean, we could sit up and wait for the group to catch us, which, I mean, I guess that's another tactic he could try. And I don't want to sprint it out in a huge group with guys who have already been lapped. It's definitely safer for us to do it this way, but that doesn't mean I'm going to waste energy on the front. You can see here my heart rate is plummeting. I mean, it's down to 152. I can't remember a crit race where my heart rate was down to 152 this late in the race. I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, I'm sitting on super comfortable, just letting this guy pull us around the track, basically. No one's making any progress on catching us. There's even a chance we'll lap the field again, which would not be ideal. I don't want to catch the field again. So here we're coming into 2 laps to go, and finally he decides, like, all right, I'm basically gonna ease off the gas, and we're gonna do a little track sprint to the finish. And he's swerving across the road here. I mean, I'm not gonna get into his draft. We're going 15 miles an hour. And I just think, my goal is just to, when I see some separation, just to hit it hard. And that's what happens right here. I look back, he's not directly on my wheel, and I just go for it. There's 1 lap to go. It's like a minute long sprint. And I'm hoping if I hit it hard enough, and develop a little bit of a gap, I can hold him off, because there's, you know, 2 corners and a chicane, which are hard to gain any traction on if you're already behind. And that's what happens. You know, I hit this corner, he's like 4 feet, maybe like a bike length off of me, so he's not getting a full draft here. And then, you know, we hit the chicane, coming through the chicane here, and he still hasn't made up any ground. So I know that if I hit this last corner and he hasn't made up ground, I've just got one more sprint and then the race is mine. Right here, we're coming up on the 3 guys that were in the breakaway with us. They're about to sprint it out for 3rd place, which you can see Daniel getting away for that. And here it is, last sprint, and literally I'm sprinting in the saddle. Can't stand up anymore, too tired. He really hasn't closed a whole lot of ground. He's made a little bit of progress, but this is it, coming up to the line, and that's it. He couldn't close it out, and I'm there for the win. Thanks.